And so we have an interesting company today here with us. So the company's name is Hiplantro, and so they will be presenting their brand La Teresita. And I don't really know much about this company yet. They participated the first time. As you know, we have 15 client companies this semester, and almost all of them are repeat partners. So they all participated before once or maybe even multiple times. But we would like to always have a few new companies, and so Hiplantro is one of those new companies. So I honestly don't know much about the company other than a quick conversation we had before, so I'm eager to hear a company introduction myself, and then we will go to questions and answers. So having said that, all yours now. Please do a little introduction of your company, tell us about your history, your products, and whatever else the students may need to know.
Okay, thank you, Basil. Hi, my name is Juan. I'm the CEO of the company of Hiplantro, and let me introduce you some of our team members. Natalia Mesa is the marketing director, and Maria Clara Puerta is the commercial director. It is a pleasure sharing with you this webinar. We are glad for your interest in our company, and we are trying to give you some glimpse of our company. The name of the company, as Basil said, is Hiplantro, which means hierbas y plantas tropicales in Spanish, or in English, tropical herbs and plants. We have two main units. One is B2B, or maquilas. We produce for some of the biggest companies in Colombia infusions. And we have our own brands in which La Teresita is a cornerstone. As we mentioned in the communication Basil sent you, or the Culture Group, La Teresita brand was created in 1889 by Horacio Jaramillo Cárdenas. The names come from his farm where he produced the aromatic herbs. We are in Colombia. We are located in Colombia. We offer high-end teas and herbal teas. We try to promote environmental friendly ways of production. And since 5 years ago, where we bought the company, this company has, as I mentioned, has a lot of time in the market. But 5 years ago, we bought the company, and we're trying to refocus the strategy. One of our dreams has been to developing farmers and communities. It has not been easy. The reality is that we have failed few times, but right now lemongrass and moringa, which are two herbs, comes from partners we have developed. Nowadays, we are working with a social foundation to continue developing farmers, and also we have established some relationships with Amazonian communities, because in the future we want to introduce some special herbs and fruits to the native communities, and trying to make some specialty teas. I think that is the frame of what we are. Maria Clara is going to explain you about the product and some marketing details, and of course we are waiting for a lot of questions. Okay.
Very interesting. So then the product.
Hello. Okay, I'm going to talk about the product. Wait me a second, please. Okay. We have 3 product lines. The first one is the basic one, which is composed by aromatics that are made with a single herb. For example, peppermint, or something like that, that is just one herb. They are highly consumed due to their low price and the functional benefits. The second line is made of a blend. We have 8 blends. The first line, we have like 2 groups of blends. The first one is made by Moringa. Moringa is an herb from India that is known for its benefits for the body. And we have a functional line that look to offer functional benefits as improve colds, increase the energy, improve digestion, rest better at night, and something like that. For example, look, this is one of our flavors that is made of apple and cinnamon, and it's a good blend for rest in the night. And this is one blend with moringa and blackberry, and also have black tea. Our final line is made with tea that is made for the plant Camellia sinensis. We have green tea, black tea, and blends with tea that include flavors and fruits. For example, Moringa Mora have black tea and blackberry and other flavors.
Chai, love chai.
Yeah, we have a blend of chai that is with the spices. Our price strategy was value based. We have high quality and a medium price. In Colombia, we have a few competitors, for example, Indu and Jaibel, and in the international market, we have a lot of competitors like Lipton, Puka Herbs, Celestian Season, and others. For example, I'm going to show you, this is the peppermint infusion. And this is our product. We are in a segment that look like self-control and vitality, that people take infusions looking for balance. Our main segment is female in an age of 30 and up.
Very interesting. Here is a question right here, if I can ask it. Some students are asking, are you growing your own tea, or you buy it from the farmers and then package and then sell?
Okay. In this moment, Basil, we don't produce the herbs. Try to develop farmers. The cultivation is one of our dreams in the future. But in this moment, we are trying to develop farmers. As I mentioned before, like we failed in the past, trying to make some alliances with farmers communities, we get the help of a foundation that is really good doing that, and we are working together with our how can I say that? The Agriculture Colombian Agency, and have a division of agriculture procedures. So we make an alliance with the social foundation and this area of the ministry, and we are trying to develop some farmers. At the moment, we are working with 4 herbs: hibiscus, peppermint, continue with lemongrass, because we already reached to develop a provider, and with moringa too, but we are working in hibiscus, peppermint, chamomile, and lemongrass. It's clear, the answer?
Yes, and so several students are asking, so how is your tea different from tea from other companies? You always say that it's a specialty tea, so what makes it special?
Okay, in some lines, we are pretty much the same, like peppermint, chamomile, etc. But for example, in Moringa, we are the only company in the world that have 4 blends with Moringa. Moringa is one of the main, it's a trendy herb, for example, in United States, with matcha, which comes from green tea. But in Moringa, we see a huge opportunity because companies like the Republic of Tea or Stash, which are American companies, they have just one blend, and the flavor or uh, or the flavor are not so good because Moringa is very strong. It's a very strong flavor, so you have to be really good blending with herbs and fruits to make a delicious beverage. So I think that the biggest opportunity is with the Moringa line.
And then, so several students, there are still a few more questions about the product, and then we will go back to the challenge. But so are the farmers that you work with, are they all in Colombia or all around Latin America?
No, in this moment, the ones that we are developing and the ones that we already developed are from Colombia. We use some species and some herbs that are not from Colombia, and we have to import it. For example, tea, and we are not a company that are strong in tea, and tea is Camellia sinensis herb. Most of the tea comes from India, China, Sri Lanka, etc. That's why we work more with fruits and aromatic herbs like chamomile, peppermint, and all that kind of things. Another thing is that we are not a huge company. We are a small company, like an entrepreneurship. We are 43 employees in Iplantro. Most of them are women, head of households, and we are trying to work a lot for the development for the developing of our country. As you may know, Colombia is a company that is using is a developed a company in a way of develop, and we are trying to work with a lot of communities and with our employees to reach some things.
Now, about your products, do you only produce tea or also other drinks like coffee, for example, or some other soft drinks?
Nowadays, we are just work with teas and herbal teas, and our main focus are herbal teas.
And then the last question about your product. So in the process of tea production, which steps exactly are sort of, you do on your own? So the farmers grow the tea, the plant, then you buy it in raw form, and then you do what, packaging, marketing, distribution, or what exactly is your responsibility?
As you mentioned, we make the third last steps. We package, we make the marketing, and we distribute. But like we want to improve the quality.
But we prepare the blends.
Okay, and we prepare the blends. But okay.
We buy the herbs, the flowers, the species, and we mix the blends here, and then we make. We pack is this. We not the box, but this the tea bags we make here with the blend that we create.
And the other thing is that we are so worried about our quality. We, in this desire of improving farmers' life, we enter to work with them in order to help them to improve the quality, because we know a lot about drying herbs, yes, or drying fruits. So, and they know how to grow them up, or how. So what we're trying to do is to create a relationship where we teach them uh, how to improve the quality of our drying herb or our drying fruit, how they uh, 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 how they improve that quality, and then we mix it here with other herbs and fruits and produce amazing blends.
Mm-hmm. Now, there are many questions about the challenge, so the students would like to know how exactly they can help. And so there are several questions related to that. Let's start with geography. So I understand that you already sell your teas in Colombia and you seek to expand into new markets. What other countries, if any, do you sell your products to?
Okay. We have made some exportations to Panama and Central America, and we have started some conversations with American companies. For example, in some meeting that the government here in Colombia organized, we have some conversations with Trader Joe's in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a fancy herb, and they found our product very good.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that when we took your doors, when I go to Basil and talk about this opportunity, like we are a small company, we haven't analyzed the market worldwide.
Right.
We just have explored Central America, and we know about American market too, because it's one of our references. But the challenge is that, like, we don't have a department of exports in our. We want your help in found some interesting markets for our product.
Yes.
So mainly Central America and North America is the market that we know, but if there are opportunities in other countries, we can explore the document we're going to prepare.
Right, and that makes perfect sense. A few more questions about your current operations, and then we will ask some questions about your future plans. Distribution. So do you sell your product at this time through other retailers? Do you have your own stores? How does it go? Do you work with the wholesalers? So how does it work at this time?
Okay. In this moment, we are in B2B and B2C. For B2C, we go to, in Colombia, we sell to wholesalers, we sell to retailers, and we sell to distributors, all depending on what our capacities. For example, the biggest retailers in Colombia, similar to Walmart in the United States, here is Almacenes Éxito. So that kind of customers, we go directly. So we attend it directly. Small retail chains, we try to attend them with a distributor. And there are some wholesalers, but for smallest, there are no chains. There are
stores.
Small stores. We go to wholesalers. So that's the way we work.
We don't
We don't have stores
Right,
Yes.
so you work with other, okay, that makes sense. Now, many students are asking about your competition. So who are your competitors and how would you compare yourself to the competition? What are your strengths, weaknesses? Can you tell us a little bit more about your competitive position in the market?
Okay. You want to go? As most of the students may don't know about Colombian market, we are trying to talk using international competition or worldwide competition. I think that one of the team members mentioned before that the most recognized brands in this category are Lipton, which is the biggest one, Twinings, which is from London, Celestial Seasonings, which is from United States, or Stash, Tazo, etc. But they are huge companies, and we try to make a comparison with some entrepreneurial brands that are doing things very well. For example, one of our competitors, and they do it very well, is Puka Herbs in United Kingdom, which was
like our reference.
yes, which was recently acquired by Unilever. But it's a small company too for that market. We are smaller than them, but they are.
In Colombia, the first company or the brand leader is Indu. That brand has about 5% of the market. There's another brand called Highbell that has about, I don't know, 10%.
10%.
10%. We have about 3% of the market in Colombia. So
But
we are now small.
but I think that if you Google this brand, let me, because I have a lot of competitors here. If you look, this brand was created for an American student with a Peruvian herb. The name of the herb is guayusa, and they started selling in Whole Foods like 10 years ago. Now it's a huge company.
Right, right.
We are trying to do the same. We started with Moringa, and that's the reason I'm telling you that is the huge opportunity because it's a trend
Right.
here. And we are trying to work with the Amazonian communities to develop new or fancy herbs and fruits. The issues that we have here is that like the FDA in United States, our regulator or food administrator in Colombia has not enough knowledge about these new herbs, and they don't allow us in this moment, but we are working with them to show them that the herbs are great and have a lot of opportunities and have a lot of qualities for the health. But in this moment, we haven't.
Can you talk more about that? Several students did ask about health benefits. So is your tea good for the health? And what are the benefits?
Like Juan is saying, in Colombia, there's some regulations and we can't, that's like a big difficult for us because we can't say that our products have help you to feel better with your digestion or if you have a cold, like in the products that we find in the United States that says that for the cold, for the stomach ache, for the etc. Because here we can that regulation don't let us say that the product helps with that benefit of your health. So we try to communicate different, saying, for example, that chamomile, for example, helps to rest, but we don't can say that this infusion help you to rest. We are talking about the herb in general, not about the product, because if you say that this product help you to rest or to sleep better, that regulation is going to say you that we can do that. So we
can promise to the customer.
We can promise because it's not allowed here.
Yeah.
Right.
And if we talk about moringa, which is the main focus here, or the herb with the biggest opportunity, that herb, if you Google it, you can find it. It's called the tree of life. Moringa comes from India, but now we are growing in Colombia a lot of hectares with the herb. And it's a trendy herb because they have 7 times more vitamin C than orange, have 4 times more vitamin A than carrots, have 4 more times calcium than the milk, and have
super product.
potassium than a banana. So with all that kind of things, people are consuming a lot in developed countries. Okay.
It's like an nutritional herb. In our products we have like this kind of legends inside. We don't say that our product make that benefit, but we say that the herb in general helps you to feel better in that thing of another. So we try to communicate in that way because we can't promise anything from the product.
There is a question about pricing strategy. So how much does your product cost in nominal terms, but also how does your price compare to competition?
We are under the competitors for like a 10%. For example, if a tea here costs $2, $3, our tea costs like $1.9. So we are under the leader because we have a good product and a good price. We are not too much cost.
What we're trying is, like, we are a new brand in international markets, and we are a new brand in Colombia too. What we try is to find our target. As I mentioned, Buca Herbs, Stash are brands that we admire a lot and looks more like us than Twinings or Lipton. So we took that reference and we try to offer the products at least 5–10% down there in the retail stores. That is up for just penetrating the market before the people know us, because in a different way is good.
All right. Now, there are many questions about marketing. So how do you currently promote your product? What kind of marketing tools do you use? What channels do you promote it through? Can you tell us more about your marketing strategy?
Que si le contamos un poquito del marketing strategy, cómo promocionamos los productos, etc.
Okay, we are a small company, so we don't have a lot of budget to invest in advertising or in marketing. So, and we know that we are small, and I think that, or we think that the first thing we have to do when you're small is like make awareness or let people to taste the products. So we look for moments or for places where we can try the products and give
Some
samples to people. We use social network also to promote.
They have Facebook, Instagram.
Yes, in Instagram, in Facebook, with relations, with a database of people.
We also go to some events where we can give the product to a lot of people.
Right.
We make a lot like that, like sampling or trying or tasting, because we know that we are big in Medellin. In Medellin, we live here, and the company is here. But we know that we need to grow more in other cities in Colombia. The capital in Colombia is Bogota. We are not in the capital, for example, but our company, so we have to grow there, and we're expanding slowly because of the budget and of the size of the company. But we know that every day we have to work more in marketing.
A few words, if I may share here with the students. So the marketing section of your proposal, of your report, will be a big component of the project. And so the company obviously is interested in your ideas for how they can promote and market their product better. And so it's important that once you identify the new promising markets, countries where you think Colombian tea would be in high demand and where there is not much competition. So it would be very important that you design a marketing strategy for this country. Starting with how do you, who are the decision makers in that country, distributors, retailers, perhaps. How do you reach them? What are the best communication channels to reach that audience? What would be the message that you would tell them so that they buy this product and not the competition's? Maybe sample ad either for online advertisement, social media, or perhaps a flyer, or maybe some other direct mail example. And so when it comes to this section, the problems that I see all the time in student reports is not enough details. In many cases, the students would say, oh, you should advertise on social media, or you should use direct mail to advertise directly to the distributor. And they stop at that. So if this is what you will do, it will be not wrong, but it will not be very useful to the company. So you have to provide many more details. If, for example, you believe that the company should use social media, then tell which ones, what audience they should target, what should be in the message, how much roughly it would cost, maybe some instructions on how to post an ad in those social media in that specific country. So go much, much deeper. It doesn't mean that you have to say much more, but you have to provide specific steps and examples and calculations. Only then the company can potentially use your ideas, because if you simply say, advertise on social media, I mean, obviously they thought about that. So where your value comes from, you do the research and you provide more details. You probably will also be recommending like trade fairs or exhibitions, or maybe you will be recommending direct mailing. Again, give examples. So for example, this is the annual trade fair that happens in this country. Here is how you apply to participate. This is how much it costs to have a booth there. This is the dates, the timing, the sign-up link. This is who else comes to this trade fair. So when you do that research and you provide that level of detail, that's when the company can look at it like, oh, that's very useful. That's that's something we can do. Same thing when it comes to the actual market. And again, you don't have to design an actual, a promo video or ad, but at least some schematics. Maybe, what do you think should be on the page? What should be, the type of graphics that you should use? It will be a good exercise for you, but also that's what will make it useful for the company. So try to go as deep as possible here and try to present as many actionable steps as possible instead of just saying use this and that and stopping at that. So, sorry, I had to deviate a little bit. I read thousands of these reports, and sometimes I see that students are definitely on the right path. They just sometimes don't research it enough to make it actionable and make it useful.
But I value a lot your comments, Basil, because perhaps we are like an entrepreneurship.
Yes.
We have a lot of knowledge because some of us come from corporations, and when you are an entrepreneurship like us and ask to some people to study the market and give us some advice about new entrants, market entrants. Some people say, no, you have to go to a marketplace. Okay, we need that. But how is the way to go to marketplace? Because in Amazon, how we can be relevant with our promised value, for example, Moringa, which is different, but how we promote that in Amazon is the real thing that that as a company we need.
And we've had several companies in Exculture that do sell through Amazon. They say one of the biggest challenges there is that there are so many competitors that it's hard to be on top. And people usually look only at the first 5, 10, maybe 15 sellers. So how do you design your strategy in a way that you're always on top? When people search for tea, your brand comes first. So again, if students would like to do some research here and have some interesting ideas, so that's when the value comes from.
And the other
one thing that is important is, like they said before, we have different channels. So we have like different targets. We have to make different strategies. One for the distributors, one for the final customer, one for the institutions. So we have to develop different kinds of marketing development for one of those channels or targets.
Several students are asking about your model for foreign markets. So I assume in most cases when you go to a new country, it will be B2B, right? You will be working with retailers or distributors or maybe some sort of platforms, right? Or are you open to the idea of selling directly to the customers in the new markets? Probably that would be too difficult. You're not in a position to set up stores in different countries, are you?
Basil, we are open to all options because every market is different. Our capacities could be right for Colombian market. For example, we have explored American market, which is huge. And if, for example, Walmart codify our products, we can produce the product, but we don't know if we can have all the things that you need for attend a muster like this company. So we're open. We in Colombia have tried a lot of channels. For example, here there are catalog sales like Avon, and we are trying that channel. Is new for us, but we are trying that channel. We are trying with companies like Rappi and Mercadoni, which are companies that made
like delivery companies.
Like delivery companies, we are trying to make some alliances to go directly to the customer. So we are open.
We have a super small channel that is we really sell here products in the. We don't have a store, but we sell products here in our place, but we don't have like a marketplace. So sometimes we develop like special products to sell directly. They call and order things from homes or jobs or something like that, and we send the products from to their house. It's like so super small.
For example, if a company
like a special development
that say for his employees or something like that, we can make it and put the brand of the company or something like that and send to them.
I would also add, from my experience, some of the best ideas that came from students were very, how should I put it, kind of interesting, original, and market specific. I'll just give you a few examples. So marketing strategy doesn't have to be expensive to be effective. For example, we've had in the past companies, like for example, there was this one that makes educational toys for schools. And so initially they thought that they would be advertising through maybe TV or newspapers or magazines. But then one team of students found that in the United States, there is a mailing list of the school principals. And so by simply posting a message on that, through that mailing list, it doesn't cost you anything. And it goes directly to the principals of the school. So it kind of targets basically your entire population for free. So very easy, very cheap, very effective. Then we've had many examples when students would find online communities of different interests, like maybe, lovers of tea. And again, you can join that community, you can advertise there virtually for free, discuss, everything and anything that is related, for example, in our case, to tea. And so again, you target this specific, large and very dedicated community, as long as you know where they kind of reside, where they meet. And so the hope is that in many cases, you guys, you students, will be able to identify those special communities or channels that allow you to target, get directly to the potential customers without having to advertise through broadcast media that are more expensive and a little too broad. So let's see if you will be able to find something interesting and original, something like this. But if you can, that's where, the real value for the company can come from.
Thank you.
Several students ask if you can scale up. Let's say this goes very well, and let's say our students identify several new markets and there are several retailers that would like to buy your tea right away. Will you be able to scale up your production?
Yes, of course. In this moment, we have a capacity, or open capacity for produce around 300,000 boxes more per month. That's a huge quantity. If we need to scale more, one of our machines, we need like 4 months to scale up, but we can do it. We have the resources to do it. We just have to find the market and the demand.
Mm-hmm. There is also a very interesting question from Paul Asare Bediaco. He's asking if you considered network marketing, or would you consider network marketing? Is this something that you thought about?
We are open to everything, but can he explain me more how it works, or how he imagine works that?
So yes, Paul, then yes, if you have some ideas for how it might work, describe it, provide a strategy. So who knows, maybe it will be a good one and maybe the company will take it on. Mm-hmm. All right. There are a few questions about your financial situation. Are you seeking to raise money to grow? Do you currently have enough funds to grow if necessary? So are you looking for any investments? Basically, how is your financial health, if that's something you are at liberty to discuss?
In this moment, we are pretty good financially for the current situation, okay, or for the current market. We have a capacity for take loans because we have a small debt ratio, so we still have opportunity. But if the opportunities we are finding are so broad, probably we are going to need money to grab. It's not a thing that worry me a lot, because I used to be an investment banker. But we are the kind of people that want to see the market and see the opportunities, and when we have the opportunities clear, we try to find the money, not in the opposite way.
Right, right. That makes perfect sense. We also have a few questions about logistics. So how do you normally ship your product? Does it normally have to be certified in a new country? So basically everything related to the movement of the product. Can you describe how it happens now? Does tea needs to be certified in other countries? I mean, it's considered food, right? So do you think it may need, would require some sort of certification and inspection?
Of course, each country has its own regulations. For example, in the United States, you need to have a FDA number or register. We have it. We already have it. We haven't yet to the United States, but we already have it. For the other countries, we have to make the same tramit or the same procedure.
Right.
Normally, we try to send the product by the sea in containers of 20 feet, but our minimum sale in exportation is pallet. Okay.
Near to 4,000 boxes.
A pallet near to 4,000 boxes, and we have to find a way to consolidate the merchandise and send it. For example, for Panama, we send it 2 pallets every 6 months. But sea is the cheapest way, of course. But we have already sent the pallet by plane.
Okay, we have a few more questions that are not related to your specific product, but in general to your business kind of career. So most of these are MBA students who would like to have their own companies one day. And so I have several questions about how different or what are the main challenges of managing your own small business. And then another student sent an email is asking if you ever regret that you decided to have your own company instead of work for somebody else. So can you tell us a little bit more about your sort of, entrepreneurship life?
I like that question, and it's one of the most interesting things. Being an entrepreneur is not easy. You have to be very passionate about your product, and you have to face, as you mentioned, a lot of challenge, and you are going to have ups and downs. As I mentioned, all this team comes from corporate businesses, and that make more difficult to be entrepreneur because you get used to be comfortable with your paycheck. So when you start a company, paycheck comes just from you at the beginning, not from the corporation. I think that the most difficult challenge when you are an entrepreneur is to be resilient to some problems, because you are going to face problems. At the beginning, financial things are important because you don't have a lot of money and you have to go to the market, and the market is not already open to your products. For example, in Colombia, we make the things different with Moringa. The product and the branding image was so great, and the bigger retailers said, the product is amazing, it tastes good, but I don't have enough space in the shelf to give you. So we said, hey guys, but you say that our product is beautiful, our product is better than our competitors, and you don't give us the opportunity. And they say, for example, okay, we give us the opportunity, but you have to pay us a lot to enter to the shelf. And we say, but we cannot do that. And so you have to find a way, you have to be very perseverant, very strong-minded, and that's one of the things. The other is that sometimes you prepare yourself a lot in the university, probably you make a master's degree, and you are expecting your interlocutors will be the same.
Right.
And the real thing is when you start a company, your interlocutors probably are not going with the same preparation like you. I'm privileged for having this team, Maria Clara and Natalia now. But at the beginning, I talk about the strategy, and nobody in the team understands that. Because we cannot pay it at the beginning people with enough competences. Where I learned in my MBA, listening the Runa owner, the company that I showed you before, is I couldn't pay enough people, so I started with people that you are entering in the market, like you, students that have not experience but had a lot of patience, or I hire people who already finished their careers. So, and that's a good way. We try to maintain interns here because they give us a lot of knowledge, and that's the way we work.
So you mentioned that you were an investment banker, and then 5 years ago you bought your own company. Do you ever look back and regret your decision?
No, I'm very happy here. I think that, but that's a personal reflection. Investment banker is really easy. A lot of Excel, PowerPoint. Here you have to sweat a lot. At the beginning, I had to go to every client and say, this is my portfolio, and I prefer, but it's a personal decision, I prefer manufacturing, things that can create wealth in a real way. So I prefer the real sector, and I think that, like, we love as a team two things. We love the development of people, or people development. So we try to improve the lives of our collaborators, our providers, etc. And we love agriculture. We are not cultivating right now, but we want to improve the lives of Colombian farmers.
Right. So we're pretty much almost out of time. There is an interesting comment from Kwame from Ghana. He says that Moringa there is considered to be a medicinal product, and so it has a very good image name and people have confidence in it. So maybe if you expand into that market, you will have that benefit of working with a name that people already know. So and yes, Kwame, if you think Ghana would be a good market and you know how to expand into Ghana, obviously, we would like to hear your idea. So, but yes, we are out of time. So I have another meeting with another company in about 5 minutes. So thank you so much. With the students, if you have any questions that we have not answered, just send us an email and we will forward it to the company. And so what we do with the emails, with the questions, we create a database of frequently asked questions. And so this way, if a repetitive questions comes our way, we don't have to bother the busy CEOs each time. So if it's a repetitive question, we just copy and paste the answer from the frequently asked questions database. If it's a new question that we don't know answer to, we will then send it to the company. So I guess for you, Juan and Maria, So there may be some questions over the next several weeks, but it will be generally quiet. And then maybe we will try to have another webinar towards the end of the semester when students already have done their research and have something to share with you, and perhaps want some feedback and would like to share with you some ideas they have at that time. But yes, and then in December we will have the final reports, and I hope there will be many good ideas in those reports as well as many interesting business needs.
Basil,
Mhm.
thank you very much, and thank you very much to all the students. I hope you enjoy this webinar, and I hope you want to help us to explore some markets, and I hope to watch in the future a lot of entrepreneurs.
Thank you. Yeah, I actually spent this meeting drinking tea, but Mike this time was somewhere from China, I believe. So hopefully for the next webinar, I'll have some Colombian tea.
Great.
Can count with that.
Thank you so much. All right, have a nice day, and then we will be in touch by email in the coming weeks.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.